Attention passionate Detroit, Lions fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Detroit Lions' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Detroit Lions fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Detroit Lions fans. Let's get to the news. Big things are brewing in the NFC North, and the Detroit Lions are right in the middle of it. Rumors are swirling around Jeffrey Simmons, the dominant defensive tackle from the Tennessee Titans, potentially heading to Detroit in a blockbuster trade that could reshape the entire division and seriously boost the Lions' chances of competing at the highest level. The buzz is that Detroit might land Simmons in exchange for a second-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, which, if true, would be a game-changer for this team's already impressive defensive front. Let's take a step back and look at why this potential move is such a big deal. Simmons, who's been a force to reckon with in Tennessee, has all the traits you want in a top-tier interior lineman. He's a rock-solid run defender, a relentless pass rusher, and a guy who commands double teams, freeing up others on the defense to make plays. In the 2025 season alone, Simmons played 13 games, racking up 28 solo tackles, 22 assists, 50 combined tackles, and an impressive 6.5 sacks. His pressure rates and overall PFF grade, which sat at an eye-popping 90.4, reflect just how dominant he's been when healthy. Simmons' ability to control the middle of the line has been a key factor for the Titans, who have allowed an average of 26.2 points per game this season. They're clearly in a rebuild mode, especially with their offensive line lacking youth and struggling to protect their young quarterback, Will Levis, who's had his share of ups and downs. Now, why would the Lions be interested? Well, for starters, Detroit's defensive line has been a bright spot this season, but it's also shown some inconsistency. They've got a strong rotation, with players like Aiden Hutchinson leading the charge, but injuries and depth issues have crept in at times, especially along the interior. Alan McNeil, for example, has been limited with a shoulder injury, and the Lions know they need more interior push to really threaten opposing quarterbacks in the playoffs. Simmons would bring that, a proven all-pro caliber player who can anchor the middle, disrupt running lanes, and collapse the pocket from the inside. His addition would not only bolster the pass rush, but also significantly improve the run defense, which currently allows around 19.4 points per game to opponents, a number that needs to come down if Detroit wants to make a deep playoff run. Looking at the numbers, Simmons' production in 2025 is impressive. Over his career, he's amassed over 300 tackles and 35 sacks, earning 3 Pro Bowl selections and 2 first-team All-Pro honors. His PFF grade, which averages around 91.8 over his career, puts him among the best interior defenders in the league. He's also been recognized for his disruptive impact, his ability to generate pressures, stop the run, and make plays behind the line of scrimmage. He's a player who elevates the entire defensive unit, and pairing him with Hutchinson could create a formidable duo that would be feared by offenses across the league. The Titans, on the other hand, are clearly looking to rebuild their roster, particularly along the offensive line. They're currently giving up an average of 26.2 points per game and are in need of fresh young talent to develop. Trading Simmons would free up cap space, around $8 million, allowing them to focus on their rebuild and possibly acquire more draft assets or young players to develop. It's a classic rebuild move for a team that's seen better days, but still has pieces capable of helping a new core grow. For Detroit, this is a strategic move that makes a lot of sense. The Lions, who are currently sitting at 8-5 with a solid, yet sometimes inconsistent, defensive line, would be adding a player of Simmons' caliber to their rotation. His presence would immediately elevate the front seven's performance, especially in critical moments like 3rd and long or in the red zone. Simmons' ability to collapse the pocket from the interior would make life miserable for opposing quarterbacks, and his run-stopping prowess would help keep teams under 100 rushing yards on average, a key factor in playoff success. Furthermore, Simmons' impact isn't just about raw stats. It's about the energy and intimidation factor he brings to the field. His reputation as a disruptive force is well-earned, and teaming him up with Hutchinson would create a nightmare scenario for offensive lines. Imagine Simmons demanding double teams, freeing up Hutchinson to unleash more pressure, and the rest of the defense feeding off that energy. The Lions are on the cusp of being a true contender, and adding a player like Simmons could be the final piece to push them over the top. Now let's talk about the playoff picture. The Lions, with their current roster, have a real shot at making noise if they can tighten up their interior defensive line and generate more consistent pressure. Simmons would give them that boost, pushing their EPA per rush significantly upward, and could help reduce opponents' points per game even further, possibly down to the mid-teens. His presence would be reminiscent of the impact Aaron Donald has had for the Rams, especially in critical moments, and could turn Detroit's defense into one of the league's most feared units. From a betting perspective, the odds of the Lions winning the Super Bowl could see a boost with Simmons in the fold. Currently, the odds hover around plus 1,200, but with his addition and the resulting upgrade in the defense, those odds could tighten to plus 750 or even lower. It's not just about adding a star player. It's about changing the entire dynamic of the team's championship potential. Simmons' ability to disrupt plays and dominate the interior could be the final ingredient in Detroit's recipe for a deep playoff run, and perhaps even a Super Bowl appearance. Of course, nothing is guaranteed in the NFL, and trades of this magnitude come with questions. Will Simmons adjust quickly to a new scheme? How will the Lions manage the cap space and roster adjustments? But if history has shown us anything, Detroit's front office has been aggressive and strategic about building a winning team. They've got the talent, the coaching, and the motivation. Adding Simmons might just be the move that takes them from a good team to a true contender. As we look at the broader picture, it's clear that Simmons' value isn't just about his individual talent. It's about what he symbolizes, a shift in the power balance within the NFC North. The Bears are still rebuilding, the Packers are trying to find their footing with Jordan Love, and the Vikings are in a bit of a transition period after trading away their star players. Detroit taking a step forward by landing Simmons would send a message to the entire division. The Lions are here to stay, and they're serious about competing for a Super Bowl. In terms of the team's current season, Detroit's defense has had its moments but also some inconsistencies. They've shown flashes of dominance, especially on the defensive line, but injuries and depth issues have kept them from reaching their full potential. Simmons could be the missing piece that turns this around, giving the Lions a dominant force in the middle that opposing offenses will have to scheme around. His addition could also serve as a morale boost, energizing the locker room and inspiring other players to elevate their game. Overall, the potential trade for Jeffrey Simmons is exciting news for Lions fans who are hungry for playoff success and a deep postseason push. It's the kind of move that can change the trajectory of a franchise, especially when it involves a player of Simmons' caliber, a proven star who's still in his prime, ready to make a difference on the field. For Detroit, it's about building a legacy, about creating a defense that strikes fear into opponents, and about positioning themselves as legitimate Super Bowl contenders in the NFC. And now, Detroit Lions fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and TO, the Detroit Lions. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Detroit Lions news.